education with the focus on study groups. On the panel, we have our guests, which I would like to welcome, and I'll ask them to introduce themselves.
Thank you very much, Gugu. I'm Tembela Mhlana from South African Study Circle Association.
Welcome.
Thank you, Gugu. I'm Tiny Vilagazi from Soil and Economic Justice Forum.
Thank you.
Thank you, Gugu. I'm Gugu Tuto from the Sankara Foundation for Social Movements from Kenya.
Welcome, Michelle. The focus today is on study groups. Study groups have been in existence for more than 100 years now, and interestingly, they started from church. Who knows, such movement can start from church, and organizations have joined in, and now they have a biggest impact on our continent. So on the panel, as I said already, our guests are going to answer the questions that we have on what study groups are and all other aspects of or challenges that we have on study groups. So I'd like from the panel to answer the question on what is a study group and what is the background on study groups.
Thank you very much, Gugu. As we have mentioned, that study group have been in existence for quite some time. It started in USA, America, and it spread to Sweden. From Sweden, it started here in South Africa by 1995. It was spread by an organization called ADF. It's a Workers' Education Association. And to quickly go to your question of what is a study group. A study group is a learning tool. It's a mechanism from a popular education. It's a democratic learning whereby people share their views democratically, and also it's formed from 5 people up to 10. And yes, thank you.
Okay, you mentioned that study groups are democratic and they are a tool on educating people. But now, what are the benefits of the study group and who must be involved in the study group?
Thank you, Gugu. Anyone is free to join a study group. As my colleague here has alluded, that it's a democratic process of popular education. We say study groups are democratic in that they are transparent. They allow people to participate freely. We also say that they are independent in the form that the people who join at their free will. They go and do the study groups at their own time at the venues which they have chosen themselves. They also draw their own agendas. It also helps them to build their capacity, in that some people are not free when they are talking with other people. Yet when they talk with their friends, that they share most things, you find that they'll open up and discuss the issues very freely. That's why we say they are developmental, in that it builds their capacity. Also the ground where they discuss these issues are also leveled, because oftentimes you find that when you want to reach people, maybe in the grassroots level, there are barriers that stop you to go to the people. Hence, when you have study groups, people can assemble themselves in a manner that is convenient for them. We also say they are economic in the way that the cost of running them is very minimal. Unlike running workshops where you have to find facilitators, venues, and also transports and things like those. There is also no competition. There is no one that's supposed to win. Everyone participates freely.
I hear that everybody is free to participate and everybody is welcome to join the study groups, and also that there's a limited number of people that are supposed to be in those study groups. But now with the problem with the growth of illiteracy in our country, then how do study groups cope? What are the other challenges that you face with study groups?
One of the challenges that you have when you have this method of popular education is that the target group is very small. You're talking about 10 to 5, 10, 15 people. So when you want to target a bigger number of groups, then there's a limitation in the sense that whatever message you want to pass is a bit limited to the number or the target group that you have. So one of the challenges is that there's very low dissemination of information because of the number. Another thing is the levels of literacy. Most of the time, the general rule is that when you're using study groups, you use literature, and we have many amongst us in our populations who are probably illiterate. So it becomes a very ineffective way of perpetuating or propagating education because they cannot exactly read. Another thing is that some of our communities are probably, for example, I'll talk about the pastoralists. They are always on the move because of the harsh climatic conditions. It becomes very difficult to bring such a group together to come and have a study group. Another thing is that within our societies, we have a very low reading culture. So again, it becomes a bit difficult to bring people together to form a study group because of that culture. But I mean, one of the things that we can do maybe to take away the challenge is to have an alternative, like within the study group. You can probably introduce, say, music as a method of learning. You can do poetry so that, it's more participatory as opposed to just literature.
Okay. Let us hear from the ladies and gentlemen on the audience who have questions and their views on this topic, study groups. We got you, sir.
Okay, I just want to put my question into the panel and they are talking about the maximum of 10 or 15 people. Then what about those who will want to be part of the group but being outside of the group because of the restriction of the number?
Before we hand over to the panel, can we have more questions, ladies and gentlemen? Yes, sir.
My question is on the issue of a caucus, because that could be a threat to the organization, that some people would like to study a study group and as a platform whereby they will be talking about the leadership or the issues that they should discuss in their own organization. So how can we prevent that? Because I think that it can be a challenge as well to the organization. How can we prevent that from happening? And another thing is that there are newspapers, there are magazines. I can go to a library and get any book and read on my own. Why is it important to be part of the study group?
Our audience has spoken and they have their views and their questions. So I'd like to pose back to the panel to answer the few questions that they have.
Thank you very much. As to the first question, my response will be as he has heard that the study circle is a democratic way of learning, and it also promotes that particular participation in each and every person that participates on that particular study group. And as we said, that you can have, maybe it depends, you can have 10 different study circles because people might choose different issues. Thank you.
Okay, any other views?
I probably want to